The movie begins with Daniel Kellner, who works as a cybersecurity analyst for a covert organization known as Wardex. To the public, Wardex operates as a defense contractor that supports government initiatives. In truth, however, it serves as a secret arm of the U.S. government, tasked with protecting information considered too dangerous for public awareness. While navigating restricted systems, Daniel accidentally gains access to an enormous archive of classified records. The files contain decades of evidence documenting encounters with extraterrestrial life. Dating back to the famous Roswell incident, the archive includes photographs, military reports, scientific research, eyewitness testimonies, and countless pieces of proof confirming that humanity has not been alone in the universe. Even more disturbing, the records reveal that governments around the world have cooperated for generations to keep this truth hidden. Daniel immediately recognizes the significance of what he has uncovered. If the documents are authentic, then much of modern history has been built upon carefully maintained lies. Convinced that the public has a right to know the truth, he copies the files and prepares to expose them. His actions are discovered almost instantly. Wardex detects the security breach, and its powerful CEO, Noah Scanlon, quickly understands the nature of the stolen information. If the files are released, decades of secrecy will collapse overnight. Determined to prevent that outcome, Scanlon mobilizes the full resources of Wardex. Through the organization's extensive influence within intelligence agencies and government institutions, Daniel is framed as a foreign agent and labeled a national security threat. A nationwide manhunt is launched, while media outlets portray him as a dangerous criminal. Within hours, his face dominates news broadcasts, turning him into one of the most wanted men in America. Fortunately, Daniel does not face the crisis alone. His girlfriend, Jane Blankenship, refuses to abandon him despite the enormous risks. Together, they go into hiding and seek refuge in a secluded convent, hoping to remain hidden long enough to release the information. At the same time, hundreds of miles away in Kansas City, a seemingly unrelated story is beginning. Margaret Fairchild, a television meteorologist, is living an ordinary life. She starts her day expecting nothing unusual and prepares for another routine weather report. Everything changes when an unexpected visitor enters her home, a cardinal. At first, the bird appears harmless, but there is something unsettling about its behavior. Instead of immediately leaving, it remains still and watches her intensely. Margaret cannot shake the feeling that it is observing her with purpose. After several uncomfortable moments, the bird abruptly flies away. Though she dismisses the incident, something deep inside her begins to shift. Soon afterward, Margaret starts experiencing strange phenomena. She hears thoughts that are not her own, senses the emotions of those around her, and somehow understands languages she has never learned. As the experiences intensify, she becomes frightened and confused. Believing stress may be affecting her mental state, she attempts to ignore the symptoms and continue with her normal routine. That becomes impossible during a live television broadcast. While delivering the weather report, Margaret suddenly begins speaking in an unfamiliar language. The words emerge effortlessly, despite the fact that she has never encountered the language before and has no understanding of what she is saying. Her co-workers are stunned, and viewers quickly share clips of the incident online. Within hours, the footage spreads across the internet. Millions watch the bizarre broadcast. Some believe she experienced a medical episode. Others assume it was an elaborate hoax. Wardex, however, recognizes something far more important. After analyzing the recording, their specialists identify the language immediately. It is not of human origin. The speech perfectly matches extraterrestrial communications preserved within Wardex's secret archives. For Noah Scanlon, events are rapidly spiraling beyond control. Daniel already threatens to expose decades of hidden truths, and now a woman apparently connected to extraterrestrial phenomena has attracted global attention. Wardex responds swiftly. Margaret is placed under medical supervision, but before Scanlon's operatives can secure her, she manages to escape and disappear. Instantly, she becomes another target of the same organization hunting Daniel. Back at the convent, Daniel decides Jane deserves to know the full truth. He reveals the stolen files and exposes the secrets hidden within them. Together, they examine evidence of alien encounters, government conspiracies, and covert programs spanning generations. Daniel understands that revealing the truth could cost them everything, but he remains convinced it must be done. What Daniel does not know is that Noah Scanlon possesses technology far beyond anything available to ordinary governments. Using a device developed from extraterrestrial science, Scanlon enhances his psychic abilities and forms a telepathic connection with Jane. Without realizing it, she becomes the key to locating Daniel. The psychic link eventually leads Wardex agents directly to the hotel where Daniel is preparing to release the evidence. Without warning, armed operatives storm the building. Daniel desperately attempts to distribute the files before they reach him. Jane manages to escape carrying critical information, but Daniel is captured and transported to a secret detention facility hidden from public knowledge. For a brief moment, it appears that Scanlon has won. But Margaret's abilities continue to evolve. As her powers strengthen, she begins receiving vivid visions that reveal Daniel's location. The images come unexpectedly, guiding her toward a man she has never met. Trusting these visions, she follows the clues until she discovers the facility where Daniel is being held. Determined to save him, Margaret infiltrates the complex and engineers his escape. Their rescue quickly becomes a desperate race for survival. Wardex agents pursue them relentlessly, with vehicles speeding across highways and armed operatives closing in from every direction. During their escape, Margaret discovers the full extent of her powers. She can influence thoughts, manipulate emotions, and compel people to act against their own will. The realization terrifies her. Before she has time to fully process it, one of Scanlon's agents deliberately rams their vehicle, sending it spinning uncontrollably toward an oncoming train. The collision is catastrophic. Metal twists, glass explodes, and the vehicle is nearly destroyed. At the last possible second, Daniel pulls Margaret from the wreckage. Together, they climb aboard the moving train and escape while their pursuers are left behind. Their near-death experience creates an immediate bond between them. Though they have only recently met, both feel an inexplicable connection. Soon afterward, they are contacted by a secret network of former Wardex employees who have become whistleblowers. These individuals once believed they were protecting humanity but eventually uncovered the truth and turned against the organization. Their leader is Hugo Wakefield. Hugo offers them sanctuary and takes them to a hidden warehouse unlike anything they could have imagined. Inside stands a flawless reconstruction of Margaret's childhood home. Every room has been recreated with astonishing precision. Every piece of furniture sits exactly where she remembers it. The entire house appears frozen in time. Hugo believes the answers they seek are buried within memories Margaret has long forgotten. Reluctantly, she begins exploring the recreated home. As she walks through its familiar hallways and rooms, memories that had been deeply suppressed slowly begin to return. Eventually, the truth emerges. Both Margaret and Daniel were abducted by extraterrestrials as children. The memories had remained buried deep within their minds for decades. Margaret recalls strange lights in the night sky. She remembers being taken aboard an alien craft. She remembers mysterious beings conducting experiments on both herself and Daniel. Suddenly, everything begins to make sense. Their extraordinary abilities were never random. They were the result of those encounters. For the first time, Daniel and Margaret understand why they have always felt different from everyone else. The revelations become even more astonishing when Margaret realizes that many unusual animals she encountered throughout her life were actually extraterrestrials disguised in harmless forms. The cardinal that recently entered her home was never an ordinary bird. It was one of the beings watching over her. Rather than appearing in forms that might frighten humans, these entities had chosen familiar animal disguises to quietly observe her development over the years. Every strange encounter, every impossible vision, and every unexplained sensation suddenly falls into place. Armed with this new understanding, Daniel and Margaret decide they can no longer remain hidden. The world deserves the truth. Together with Hugo and the whistleblowers, they begin preparing one final operation. Their destination is Margaret's former television station. If they can seize control of the broadcast network, they can reveal everything before Wardex has a chance to stop them. The mission is extraordinarily dangerous. Scanlon fully understands their intentions and deploys every available resource to prevent them from succeeding. Failure would almost certainly mean death. Despite the risks, they move forward. After infiltrating the station and overcoming its security systems, they gain access to the broadcasting network. Then the moment finally arrives. The transmission begins. They call the event Disclosure Day. Across the globe, televisions, smartphones, computers, and news stations suddenly receive the signal. Governments react with alarm. Military officials scramble for answers. Scientists watch in disbelief. Ordinary citizens stop what they are doing and tune in. Daniel and Margaret begin revealing the truth. Historical records appear on screens worldwide, photographs, videos, military documents, scientific evidence. Decades of hidden information are unveiled before billions of viewers. The impact is immediate. Everything humanity believed it understood begins to unravel. Governments are forced to confront secrets they have concealed for generations, as undeniable evidence of extraterrestrial contact is displayed in real time. As the broadcast continues, another extraordinary revelation emerges. The whistleblowers reveal that they have secretly been protecting a living extraterrestrial. Not a rumor. Not a photograph. Not a recovered artifact. A living alien being. The announcement sends shockwaves across the planet. Then something even more remarkable happens. The extraterrestrial communicates directly with Daniel. No words are spoken aloud, yet he instantly understands the message being transmitted. The being has something important to say, a message intended for all humanity. Daniel turns to Margaret and shares the communication. As billions watch around the world, she steps forward. Humanity now stands at a crossroads unlike any in its history. The secrets have been revealed. The deception has ended. The truth can no longer be hidden behind classified files, secret facilities, or powerful organizations. Everything has led to this moment. Margaret looks directly into the camera as the world waits in complete silence. Then she delivers the alien message. A single word. Listen. The screen instantly fades to black. And with that, Disclosure Day comes to an end, forever changing the future of humanity. For more interesting movies like this, make sure to subscribe to this channel.